Hi, I'm Soshana
I'm Joyce.
and today we have a special guest. She's come back to see us, Debra Kulas from Debra Kulas Design Associates.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation the last time she was here.
It was really beneficial to me, I'd say.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it kind of opened up my eyes in different ways.
Like how?
Because I guess I had my experience
Yeah.
with designers, and I guess I have like prejudice or so in some ways, and so when I had them, I didn't really. The person was great, really, they're good, but and I didn't even know what I wanted.
Okay.
I'm terrible at that because like But then it's kind of like this. I think when I eat good food, I know it's good, even though I don't know how to cook them.
Right.
When I see good, like everything working out, well decorated, coordinated, I know it's good.
Right.
But I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
I cannot verbalize what I want. So when everything was done for me, was not exactly what I wanted, right? I guess, right? So I was not satisfied.
Okay.
And my thing, I guess, was, I think at the time she brought in all kinds of trendy items, the things that are popular at the time that people are going after and things. And she was putting all that, and I thought I would like it too, because I didn't know what I wanted, really. So I think this job is hard because there's going to be so many people like me who don't know what we want. At the end of the day, we're like, I'm not happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's true.
Yeah. I can
think
only...
some of it has to do with one, communication and knowing the questions to ask. Because I bet in your business, you have to really listen.
Yeah, and ask tons of questions.
And ask a whole lot of questions. Because the same thing with me. I need to get an idea of really what their objective is. What's their plan? Sometimes I need to know what phase of their life they're in so that we can really reach the goal that they want to attain. So I'm assuming it's the same.
It is the same.
Right, but then I didn't know, like, I guess that didn't happen really at that time for me. So when I moved out of the place, I didn't really take anything.
Right.
Because I was not really, because I did not really
connect.
You
didn't connect with those things.
So I have this experience myself, so I didn't really, so when somebody like recommends me to get a designer, I'm like, I'm not so sure, do I want to pay that? It didn't work out well, blah, blah, blah. But when we talked about it last time, I think the way you approach is different. And I think I guess the understanding is that, like, designers are usually working for people with money, That's
the perception.
Yeah, that's the perception that kind of got debunked, and which I'm very happy. And that you work with all levels, all different needs, and so that's good. Yeah. So anyway, so that was very beneficial to me. So.
Yeah.
Would that benefit you if you worked with a designer again? Because I heard you say that you really didn't know what you wanted. So when that designer was working with you, were you able to vocalize? Did you communicate and saying, I don't really like that. I'm not really feeling that. Because sometimes people don't say things because they don't want to offend you.
Right.
That too.
Right.
Yeah, that too. And I didn't know what to say, I guess, because I didn't know what I wanted. And so my hope was, okay, after everything is said and done, I was hoping that, because she was the specialist, or she knows what she's doing, that somehow it's going to work that out. You mentioned that earlier, that, you reposition things a lot.
Right.
You don't tell clients to purchase everything.
No.
You kind of tell them, hey, use whatever you have already, and it works out well.
Absolutely. So
in my mind, right, this person knows what she's doing, and at the end of the day, maybe I may not like this one piece of cup, right? One cup, but after she's done putting everything together, I kind of assumed that I was going to like it.
I think I think there's a misconception of we can have the skills, we can know exactly what to do, but we can only do what our client or person is communicating or allowing us to do.
Yeah.
Just like finances,
same
just
thing.
Like real estate.
Right.
So sometimes we get a little stifled, because if there isn't that relationship and the person doesn't know how to work with you or read you, or maybe you don't know how to say, I'm not comfortable with that, or, well, you're the professional, so I'm just going to let you do
Decide.
it. But internally, you're going, I don't really like that. But when the designer is there, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. So many people, because they're afraid to say that, because they're like, okay, that's the professional. They do end up with a look that truly is not them.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it's just opening up and allowing the person to get to know you and really.
Right.
If we were working together and you say, God, Debra, I don't know what I like, I don't know what I want, then that tells me we're going to have to work a little bit harder. And we're going to have to communicate so you feel comfortable to express what you like.
I think building that relationship, I think, is key. But everything, we tend to do things like, everything is speedy. You know what I mean? We want to get things done now.
Right.
And I only have this much time, so I want to get this done. And I only communicate this much, and I want things to be perfect.
Yeah.
Even though I don't let you know what I want.
Right.
I think that happens a lot too. And see, creating or having that kind of relationship, open relationship, takes time.
It does take time.
Right. So
I do wonder. I mean, I still walk into my dining room and I'm like, how does she know? Like, how does she know that this is what would really work? Like, I think that I love the place, and I think my husband loves it too. I think so. Like, that's what, like blows me away. Because now when we walk in the house, we really feel connected. We feel connected to the outside. We feel connected to the inside. So what is it? I mean, what is it? I mean, did I say something that...
Well, I think that there were many times where you just talked about different things. And your contemporary and you can look around your house and see some of your clean line pieces, but you also have some, traditional. But it really was us talking and getting to know. Yes.
Because you guys really got to know each other.
We really,
because you spent a lot of time together.
Well, we knew each other before that, but we didn't spend as much time together. And when we worked on her house, we hadn't been working on this collective project for a long time, and so it truly is watching and listening. So I was picking up on things that she was looking at, whether it was an outside light. We would go through a Home Depot or go through a Progressive Lighting, and she'd go, "Oh, I love that." Or we'd see something, and I'm like, "Well, that's mid-century modern, okay," and different things that I would just grab.
And you pick the signs or the okay.
And then when we were like, okay, let's redo the exterior of the house, I was like, okay, this is what my vision is. She had no idea. Eric didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
And she was talking about grasses and stuff, and I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. But when she put it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is
That's
so
what
awesome.
I wanted.
This is so awesome. And so okay, I have to tell you, this is kind of important. For when we got started, I had gotten some pots. A client of mine gave me these tall pots, and they were white at the time. And Debra's like, Soshana, paint them black. I want all your pots painted black. It took me a long time. I was like, oh man, I have to
painted them?
I painted them. Yeah. I painted them. Okay, but it took me a while to get the ball rolling. Okay, because I'm like, this seems like a lot of work. Anyways, when I got started, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I got my materials or whatever. I started scraping these things, and it took me a while to get, it was 6 big, those tall pots, and that I had to paint, and then I had other smaller pots I needed to paint. And then my brother-in-law, some years ago, before we even started working on the house, he was like, you should consider using succulents, okay? So I didn't know what I didn't think I knew what succulents were. But anyways, so we went and bought these succulents. It didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't click. But then whenever we got the pots, and then I started, planting these pots, oh my goodness, that was so therapeutic. First of all, that was so therapeutic. I did not realize how much I was going to love doing this, okay? So my obsession that I have right now with my succulents, it's Debra's fault, okay? Because she got me started, okay? So anyways, Debra knows how obsessed I am. She's like, don't buy any more succulent.
No more. I have a question for you.
Like no more on the front of the house.
I do this. Mm-hmm. So I go out and I buy things, right? Sometimes impulse, and sometimes I like it, and whatever. Do people buy things and they don't match with anything really? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I bring in and it doesn't match with it. But like when you say you reposition things, mm-hmm. you use the same thing. That means the stuff that we buy represent us, even though they're like all over the place. Then is that how you say how you would?
I think some pieces represent you.
Not every.
I think many people, they buy things because, number one, maybe somebody, they know they saw it, but it was positioned or executed the way it should be. Mm. And you're like, oh, I love that. Or you're going through the stores and you're just trying to find things to fill a spot. And so you buy all these things, and many people do this. They buy a lot of things and they get it home thinking, oh, I know the spot for it. But they don't know how to position it. Mm. Or maybe it's not the right spot for it. It may be the right spot in a different part of the house. Mm. And so people do get tripped up on that. Mm. And so if I can come in and the pieces that you like, then I can move them and rearrange things. Mm. And it can change the whole look of a room. Mm. You know, by putting things, maybe you have a console table and there's a mirror and you have your thing over to the left, but I center it. You know, it changes the look.
So then, like, when you do your work, so you reposition things, but would you throw away some of the things too?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Okay. I'm very honest, not cruelly, but it's like, okay, for the look that we want to achieve, or that how you want your home to look, I think we can use these pieces because you seem to like these more than these. Right, yeah. So let's take these and we can make them go away, or we can use them in a room that maybe isn't as important, you know, depending on if you really want to keep the piece.
Yeah. Now, I have another question. Okay, for towels.
Yes.
Yeah, I make up my mind that I go, I'm going to only buy this color towel. Uh-huh. Okay, so let's say it's a beige or whatever. Mm-hmm. And a year later, I see all colors. You know what I mean? I buy gray. I buy gray towel. I buy green towel. And I'm like, how did this happen? Uh-huh. Does this happen to people? Or do you do that, or is it just me?
No, I'm not a shopper. I'm not a real shopper. Okay, so
towels,
whatever I get. Well, this
just drives me nuts. That seriously drives me nuts because I don't know. There's something about these towels that I want to have it so organized. Okay.
Okay.
And then so I make up my mind. This is what I'm going to buy, and I'm going to only see these colors. Like a year later, I see all colors.
Do you see all colors in your house?
In my house is what I'm saying. I said, why am I doing this?
Because you're gravitating to those colors. Those are obviously colors that mean something to you without you knowing it. Mm-hmm. You know, you may say, oh, I love these beige towels.
Because it looks like...
It's fresh.
Yeah.
You know, it's neutral, it's fresh. Oh,
everybody else has it.
But I love these gray towels too. Okay, well, they can work together. Oh, look at that jade green. I love that jade green. Yeah. So people start seeing towels, the colors that you're attracted to. And before you know it, you have a collection of different towels. Many of them can work together, but I believe that's what it is.
So I'm going to tell you something. That can lead to something else that happens so fast, okay? Uh-huh. Like you buying things and buying things, and quickly the house gets full of things.
Yes.
And it starts getting out of control. Yes. And then you don't know how to, get that under control. Mm-hmm. And I know you've been able to help some of our clients with things like that.
Decluttering, getting rid of them then? Yeah. Do you recommend that they get rid of them? Well, give them away, kind of?
It depends on what level they're at of cluttering or emotional attachments. And sometimes
that's a big one, isn't it?
It is.
Emotional
There's
attachment.
a lot of people that, and the word hoarder, you know, when you go into home and everything is taking up space. And it's like you have to work with them, number one, to understand why they're thinking that way. But number two, how to help them get organized in a way that makes sense to them. And I'll use one example. There was a young couple cute couples, cute small brick home, but they both had a tendency to just hoard, and they weren't organized. And so it was about figuring out what they really needed and why we were in this situation. We got a 4-season porch that is stacked with things. They can't even use it. So digging in, it was like, okay, why do we have these things, and what are you keeping? Come to find out, we're keeping pickle jars and mason jars and everything. But why are we doing that? It's taking up space because I don't want to waste it. So that tells me something. That person doesn't want to waste something, so let's figure out a way to show them how it would be a blessing to repurpose it to somebody else. Maybe we have, okay, this, let's go through it together. This stays because I really like this and it would work with the house. It would be beautiful. This should go. And this should be donated. And this should be thrown away because it doesn't have the value it used to. So it's just getting them organized. Many people, after we get them organized, they feel fabulous. And some of them can sustain and stay that way. And then there's some that they can only do it for a period of time and they go back. Yeah, they really do.
This is kind of like fascinating in that, like, the psychology behind all this. It just seems all the same. So I'm guessing that some people may just break down in front of you when you're trying to help them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
That happens to me too with my clients, because all we are talking about is money.
Yeah.
You think we're talking about just money, but the psychology behind it is to how we behave, the way we behave, why we spend the money we spend, and the attitude towards money. I think has so many deeper level of connections and the reasons why.
Absolutely.
And that works. It sounds like it works the same.
It's very much the same.
Wow.
Whether it's insecurities or whether it's bad experiences from the past, or maybe it's the environment that you were raised in. There's so many different levels
interesting
that take part in that. So it's very interesting.
You help people as well, like, to get organized, help them to, like, think through and organize their homes. That's really important. I think it's important in the home and at work.
Yeah, that's true.
It's important in both.
Because I feel like if your mind is clear, like if your surroundings are clear and organized and pleasant, then your mind can think more clearly.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that. That is so true.
And I don't know that people really realize it. Like, I feel like I realized that whenever we started working on our house. Like, I did not realize. I was like, you just kind of live in whatever you're in.
You adapt.
You adapt. And that's how it is. But when you change your environment to something that's, like, organized, that's clean, that's pleasant, it's like your brain works different. It's like it's clear. It can move. It can do more. So, I don't know.
I think what you just said, people living in it, a lot of times people, when they're in it and it's become out of control quickly.
Yeah.
But you're moving so fast through life and busy that it happens, and then all of a sudden you turn and look and it's there. Yeah. And then you become overwhelmed. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do.
Right.
Yes.
No different than finances. No different than a real estate property or home.
You feel so messed up.
You do. And there becomes a level of shame, uneasiness, or you get to a point where you really cry out for help.
Yeah.
Right.
And when people contact me and they're like, oh my God, and they have a nice home, but they don't know how to use their space. And I have a person right now, I did her office at her house, and she works from home. But the rest of her house is very unorganized. She has a large laundry room. There's stuff everywhere, pantry, shelves. It's not organized, which is taking up space that could be used with a whole different intention and more organized where it's like, oh, this is here, oh, this is here. But she needs help with that. And so when you see that, and then you turn it upside down, and you get it organized, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had that space. It's a release for them.
You know how you feel about the towels? I feel like that about my bathroom. Okay? You know, I have so many hair products. Like, I can open up a hair supply. Okay? Store. That's my next business, okay? So open up. Yeah, right. No, I'm kidding. I can't do that. But I'm serious.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's like, you know, and then, okay, so this is what I'm guilty. As far as not towels, little containers to put things in. And it never looks like Pinterest. It never looks like Pinterest. I don't care if I have Pinterest like right there. Like I blow up the picture and I'm trying to replicate it. It never looks like that. And I don't know how to categorize it. It's crazy.
Yeah, so you know what I do at the end of the day?
What? You dump it? Like, shh.
Because it just drives me nuts.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I am so tempted to do that. I'm so tempted to just get the trash bag and
start over.
Start over. But then I'm thinking, oh, that's wasteful.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it repeats itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So why can't I get this thing in order, you know? So, and I was like, it's so every year, like almost at the same time too. I'm looking at it like, how did I like get these again? It's like I go to Costco and I guess I just buy towels. Whatever the hell is happening there. It's like,
you see they're a great deal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at this big fabulous towel.
They're good towels. They're great towels.
People do the same with sheets.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need 20 sets of sheets for your bed. But it's like you see colors or that.
Oh my God.
You know, before you know it, you have a closet filled with sheets. We actually had a client that she had a house that had so much potential. But she had one whole closet filled with sheets that were still in the packages. She had an obsession with art, and she bought art, and it was stacked up in the hallways where you literally walked very narrowly through, and art on the walls, and they all had the paper corner blocks on them, you know. And so she was like, I could tell she didn't know what she was going to do with this stuff, but every closet was packed to the gills with stuff that she had purchased. One whole bedroom was turned into a closet with, I kid you not, probably 250 pair of shoes. There's
That's
no
some
way.
money.
Spent it all. Both of us look at each other like, I don't think so.
She probably, you know, spent her money. But,
Right.
But then that to me, okay, let's go back to the psychology.
Yeah.
She wasn't just doing it to do it.
I know.
There's
There's something else.
a divorce. There was a loneliness. There was children that left.
Yeah.
So I believe that she was taking that and finding things that she liked.
Right.
You know, when you don't have a lot of people around you, or that you try to infuse yourself into society to be around people. It makes you feel like you're part of something. And people like that, I think that could be part of her situation. And she wasn't able to maintain the house the way she wanted to, so things got out of control. You know, so I think there was a lot of heartache, maybe a little aggression, because of things she went through. You know, so it isn't always that, you know, oh my God, they're just crazy and buying everything. But there's a lot to it.
But you know,
there's a lot of story there.
I've found myself, this is pre-Debra, okay? This is pre-Debra, where, you know, maybe I wasn't feeling good or whatever. Let me go shopping. And then I'd go buy stuff. You know, because really it's amazing how, like, you look inside your house and you think, how many trips did it take to get all this stuff inside this house?
I can honestly tell you that there was a time that I had moved from Dallas, where I had been for 17 years, and my job transferred me to Chicago. I love Chicago. but I didn't know anybody. So I knew a couple people. And this is going to the psychology part of things, because I didn't know anybody, so the only way I could get out and feel a part of things is by shopping or, maybe going to tan or anything that I could do to get out and be amongst people. But I was spending so much money and buying, clothes, and I had packages in my mail all the time because I was trying to camouflage or fulfill the loneliness that I was feeling at that time. So there's a lot of of story there. Why people kind of get into these situations. So we kind of have a grace.
Sometimes you just don't think that all of this is connected. Like you just don't.
But see, I think that's where the real value is in that. When you surround yourself with really good professionals, somebody, because we all need each other.
Absolutely.
And so, but then a lot of times you don't know where to go, who to go to. Sometimes you don't connect or whatever. So finding or having eyes to pick the right person for you and build that relationship, I think is very important.
Absolutely.
So I can help, for example, like you have help somebody buy the house, and there's this the things that they go through, the psychology behind it. And money's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right? And then what you do certainly has that. So if you were to have one client, let's say, so this person deals with you, deals with me, and deals with you. And there are three different aspects that, that their lives get touched.
Absolutely.
In really meaningful way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, let's say beautiful Georgia Homes, Soshana has a client that wants to sell their home.
Right.
And they haven't been able to take care of it. So, and they don't know who they could trust.
Right. That's a big thing.
Because there's a lot of people that just want to get your stuff out of there and not worry about you. Soshana builds that relationship and that trust.
Right.
Soshana has me to work with her team and work with her and bring me in so they know Soshana. She's built that relationship.
Right.
So now they bring me in, and now I build a relationship.
Right.
We build it together.
Right.
Now we're a team. Okay. So when people feel like they have an army supporting them, what does that do to you?
I know.
That makes you feel really awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So then all of this takes place, and guess what? Their house sells. They have money that they've never had before and don't know what to do with. So Soshana has them come to you.
Right.
Because they trust her. She's done good things for them.
Right.
So it's all about what you just said, bringing people into your circle. But I like to say it's your own personal army.
Right. It's funny.
That is so
funny. It's so funny that she says that because as she's saying that, I'm like, oh yes, that has happened. That has happened.
Yeah.
We have had clients that all of us have touched.
Yes.
And, I tell you what, I do feel honored that we get to work together, and that we are able to provide value to them. So
anyway, we're our own personal army.
Yeah, we have
to give to other people.
And the older we become, I think it's going to be more important.
Absolutely.
Because the elder issues, right? Elder abuse and those issues are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I even have client's friend who just lost close to $700,000.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's like almost overnight. Because I guess there was this realtor who supposed to help her sell the house, which she didn't have to sell the house. And she has her dementia kind of had started.
Oh.
They took advantage of it, really. And apparently the realtor was not even the person who spoke to her. I guess somebody was involved in talking to her, and this person, I guess, doesn't have a license or some sort.
Oh, wow.
So the realtor. So anyway, it became such a mess. It's just, and I felt terrible for her because she must have felt like there must not be anybody around her.
Right.
You know what I mean? No professionals to really help her out.
Right.
And there was insurance agent got involved, and basically they wiped her money.
That's terrible.
It's just.
that's somebody who doesn't maybe have family either.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody, really.
Absolutely.
'Cause
it
we-
can happen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having somebody checking up on you, having somebody who you can go to, at least like, okay, the person is going to be truthful to me,
Yeah.
be on my side.
It's
I mean,
important.
so I think it's becoming more and more important because we live longer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we get sick, but we live longer.
Yes.
Well, we're getting the sign that we're running out of time. So
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Deborah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
it
you
was
for
so
having me
nice to
again.
have you here. I'm sure we'll invite you over again because
I
this was a
know.
lot of fun.
And then we can actually probably do something together too, like
Yes.
the party thing, probably.
Oh yeah, Deborah's forever going to be part of my parties.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be absolutely fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
thanks again for joining us. I'm Soshana
I'm Joyce.
and we had Debra Kulas with us with Debra Kulas Design Associates. Thank you. Thanks for watching this week's video. If you have questions on anything we covered or you'd like to ask us, just leave it in the comments below. We love to hear what you have to say about what we talked about and what you want us to talk about. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.